Okay, so now what we want to do is we want to dive in and we want to talk a little bit about the different controls and functions that Power Apps has. Now, before we do that though, I want to charge you with, this idea, this concept that we've talked about before, but I want to reiterate, and that is I want you to be building experiences. So far we've made apps that have been, let's face it, they don't look very pretty because I'm not very good at pretty, but I want you to be good at pretty, and not only at pretty, but I want you to be thinking about experiences. So for example, we talked about Michael and his mobile device, right? One of the things that's great about Power Apps is we can take advantage of that mobile device. There are functions for interacting with the camera and the accelerometer and the GPS. We can take touch input. We also want to be thinking about, all right, well, if Michael's going to be filling out, apps in there, let's give him a better experience. So another great example, maybe when Michael uses the app, he needs to come in and take a temperature reading. So instead of having him click on a text input box, having the keyboard pop up, him typing 70, enter, and then clicking into the next field, why not use a slider control, right? Slider control, you can have it so you just take his finger on the screen, slide the degrees, from 70 to 75, and you can set the range of that, you can set the default value. So then that way, you're creating an experience. You're thinking about how they're going to use the app. So this is just one of those challenges as you come into Power Apps, is there's a lot of great technology here, but you have to think about implementing it. The mantra I always use is don't recreate paper. Don't just be like, oh, this is the paper form, I'm going to make an app that looks exactly like that. You can do that. Power Apps works that way. You can do that and be very successful. But instead, let's say, all right, this was a paper form, this is how the people were using it, but here's a chance for us to grab the controls and make it touch friendly. We already know who's logged in, right? So why prompt them to put in their name or their email address? We know that information. So I'm going to show you here in a minute with the functions so you can put that in there. Maybe you need to log the date and the time. Power Apps already knows that. Don't ask the users for it. So that's my big charge to you as you start to explore here. Just think about, how do I make an experience? How do I take advantage of all the things that Power Apps knows so that we can build a happier user experience?